Welcome to Rex Arthur. This is the Rex Arthur Show. And today we are going to discuss language, sexuality, and gender. This is going to be both in the LGBTQ channel or the LGBTQ playlists and the River of Thought Love of Fikir philosophical playlist. Language is very important. As I've told you in the other video, we are always communicating. Even when I like this, I'm communicating because you will look for language in my facial expressions. Facial expressions are a form of language. Gestures are a form of language. Dress code is a form of language. When I'm dressed like this, it means I may be in a place that's cold. I've already giving you a hint of where I am. And setting is a form of language. You know, you and you see, and some, that's like sex. That's why physical like sex, you physical disease called media, herpes, all of those. Why you had a physical connection with a person. Jesus even made it very interesting. He said, if you just look at somebody lustfully, you've had sex with them. That's what he said. Just looking. You not even open your mouth and told them anything. You've not even whistled. You've not even done what? You've just looked at them lustfully with the intention to have sex. You've had sex with them. That's according to Jesus. So we're always having sex all the time. And some sex is physical, and some sex is, of course, physical sex is orgasmic. It is the highest orgasm. And that's why people um they like having sex. And we know we're in a war of words with the heterosexuals who don't value homosexuality. They don't know homosexuality is natural. It's just another way of having sex. It has been there in the world and will never leave the world as long as humans exist. So they would be wise to let people do what they want to do. You know, yes, homosexuals should do what they want to do, and heterosexuals do what they want to do. That's the world. That's why I admire the West. It's ahead. They are not wasting time arguing with people that this sex is wrong. What are you wasting time discussing? You found out people have sex. Same sex relations exist. Legalize it. Let them have their freedom. Don't have to beat them around the bush and try and make them feel like they should not be having sex together. They are homosexual. Let homosexuals live. That is our lifestyle, and you are allowed to live your lifestyle. You don't kill cows in the name of we want to make sure there are no cows in the world. No, that's the Nazi German thinking of doing away with a group of people. No, you don't do that. And that's that. Of course, we'll talk about that. We have another video to do on homophobia, the different types of homophobias, and how to. Now, this is about language, gender, and sexuality because I've been realizing the world is going through a lot of changes and we are in a time of transition. If you are a listener or a follower of time, you know, if you belong into the group of time studies, you will know that there's an age the world is in. And the age we are in is what you call the Pisces, the age of Pisces. And the Pisces age was basically the age of religion and faith. And now we are entering the Aquarian age of science and reasoning. And we have already, 20th century was actually the biggest boom for the Aquarian age because we have now acquired technology of the highest form. Actually, my best century in time is the 19th century, the Romantic period. Oh my God. Those people had brains. They had brains. Einstein, Oscar Wilde, the gay poet, Donald Lawrence. Oh, I don't know what they were eating. I have to find out what they were eating. They are in another level of thought. The guy who formed the periodic table, the guy is just, what were they on? They were on to something. They are the ones who have set the foundation for the world today. And if you find most of the inventions, the great inventions of the world, Michael Faraday and Thomas Edison, electricity, my goodness. Do you know if there was no electricity, if there was no Thomas Edison, what I'm doing now is useless. I wouldn't do what I'm doing now. That's how important Edison is to us. That's how Michael Faraday is important to us. That's how Einstein is important to us. All of these scientists, they formed the foundation of the world, a new foundation for the Aquarian age, and it was on science. And because with electricity came electronics, the Wright brothers, they created planes. And but I value electricity more because with that everything became electrical. Everything that existed, the motor, the guy who made the motor engine, oh, it's brain, it's a brain, it's a brain. Thanks to stem cell reproduction, we can reproduce those brains again. Yes, we can. There's no harm. So the what I'm trying to say, I'm saying it so passionately because it's beautiful when you sit down and read through the inventions, and especially electricity. Oh my, I don't know how much we can pay Edison. He deserves praise forever. Electricity revolutionized every tool that man is using. The guy who formed the electric motor revolutionized everything. The car, all of that was running because of that mindset. And now it changed life completely. We now have social media that is the biggest revolutionary change. And guess when it happened? It didn't even happen in the 20th century, it happened in the 21st century. It's just 10 years, almost 15 years, not even 20 years have passed since Facebook has existed. And people are already saying Facebook is going to collapse. You see? But the work Facebook has done is incredible. The work Twitter has done is incredible. And in that short time span, it's because of things like electricity, electric trains, electric cars. Oh my. We are living in the best time ever. I am so happy I was born in the 20th century. I'm so happy. And I also feel I enjoy when I see young people who are born in the 21st century, all of those after 2000. I say, wow, it's so beautiful for these the younger you are, actually the better because you're entering a world that is so different to what people were born in the past. And you should even talk to old people. They are the ones who are so dazed because those who are 70 years old, they never saw these gadgets. I mean, look at Trump, even though he's very noisy, and I also disagree with many things, many of his policies, but at his age, he's even tweeting. He's even tweeting. He's on social media. I mean, most old people who never knew these things, they are also coming onto these platforms and they are meeting up with young people and arguing with young people. It is because of these inventions. So, all of this has done something to language. Language was changed. And when language was changed, it was changed to reflect what is happening in society. Now, there are some languages in the world. Majority of the languages in the world, we have 7,000 languages in the world, of which 2,000 do even have, they are very insignificant. They are very small populations, so don't think of them. So we could roughly say we have 4,000 languages existing in the world. 4,000. Now, of the 4,000 languages, very many of them are dead. What do you mean by dead languages? Even though they're being spoken by people, they are not growing. They are not adding new words to themselves. It's only English, and as I said in the other video, I love English. One of the reasons why I love English, it is a growing language. It is a living language. Secondly, it's a language that borrows from different languages. The number of languages that are found in English is incredible. They have the word safari, they have the word which comes from Swahili, they have the word, what's it called, croissant, that is of course croissant, the French food that is from French. They also have the words I'm trying to get other connections of words. Yeah, emoji. Emoji is Japanese, and it is now an English word. You'll find it in the dictionary. So they are ever borrowing, and this keeps English as a living language. Latin and Greek are dead languages, but still very important because they are used in science and biology, like medicine and law. And one of these old professions, they always use Latin and Greek. And even theology is a very old profession. So a very good theologian invests his time in studying the languages of the past, Greek, Latin, Hebrew, because those texts were written in that language. Now, the interesting thing is the the interesting thing is with English growing like this, I mean, we were talking to some people. Our mother tongues, African mother tongues, they don't have words for application. Android, they don't. And they're not even bothered to try and create words for these things. So I know Ngugi wa Thiong'o is a champion of using your ethnic language in communication, in every form of communication. He is a supporter of ethnologue, whereby your language, when you want to write a book, it's rather you write it to an ethnic group or translate it into other ethnic tongues rather than one tongue. He's not a supporter of English, uh, the universal language. Having a universal language. He's a supporter of having multiversal systems, whereby when he wants to write in his mother tongue, which is Kikuyu, he will write it in Kikuyu, and the only those who know Kikuyu will understand what he's saying. And then if you want to know what he's saying in your mother tongue, you translate it into Kikuyu. That's why his books have also been translated into English. And they are, and I hear other languages because Ngugi wa Thiong'o is a very great writer. Very, very, and I love his books, by the way. Brilliant. I like his symbolism and everything. The So he so but the issue is when you translate a book into English, English is a universal language. So what happens is economically English sellers will make a lot of money more than anybody else because English is a universal language. So now let's go to the meat of this discussion. English is changing how we view gender issues because the time English is also developing, you see, time is very important. There is something happening to the gender relations. And what is happening is that women empowerment is the main issue in the gender relations of life. Of course, we still live in what is called a patriarchal matriarchal world, of which I kind of I am of the view that there are some areas in life I don't believe we're in a patriarchal world. I believe there are different compartments of the world that are patriarchal and others are matriarchal and others are what you call uh, the what do you call patrimatriarchal and others are matripatriarchal. That's a combination of the patriarchy and matriarchy, and where there is no it is an asexual uh, power system, or not a sexual but a gendered power system, whereby there is no mother, there is no father, there's no patri, there's no matri. It's just a system, the neuter system. And so I don't believe that the world is patriarchal. No, because there are some areas where it is matriarchal, like the matrimonial home. It means the home is matriarchal. Yes, the matrimonial home. It's not called the patriarchal home. But when you read Greek, the home belongs to the patriarch. It's not the matriarch's home. When you read Greek, the Lord Kurios, it was the Lord. And when you read Latin, domus, the dome, domestic relations, the dome. That was also the home, but it was also patriarchal. So the world is becoming more and more matriarchal as we go on. English is actually a mix of matriarchy and patriarchy. It is not very, it's not very patriarchal, and that's what's happening to language now. And why I've decided to do this video, we are going to be doing this language, sexuality, gender, looking at different words. So today's word is polygyny and polygamy. And I'm laughing at how the word polygamy has changed now to polygyny, to mean many women rather than to mean many seeds. Polygamy means gametes, many seeds. When man releases semen, I mean, he broadcasts his seed. So a man who had very many women was called, yes, in the past was called polygamist. But now he is no longer a polygamist, he's a polygynist. Now the philosophical thing that it is making me think about, I'm thinking in these lines, it is changing how we view polygamy. Because if it is no longer polygamy, does it mean that polygyny is actually a matriarchal thing? In the past, polygamy is seen as patriarchal because you're talking of seeds, the man seed, many seeds. But now it is polygyny, which means many women. Very interesting. Shocked me. She said Hinduism, which I used to think was matriarchal, she told me no, it's all of them are patriarchal. Yes. And she said, then I said, then it's patriarchal. If therefore, if we go on into a religious mode, it means we are patriarchal. If we go to a scientific mold of life, which is going to the Aquarian age, It means we are actually, we are not even patri or matri. We are above. We are now one. Unity. I want to say unity. Unity meaning we are unisexual. We are the patri, the matri are all one. That is the yin yang system. You know, the yin yang system is made, half is the black yin and the other half is the white yin. And but it makes one whole ball. The yin and yang, they make one whole ball. So I view human beings as unisexuals. Yes, we are unisexuals. We have our yin and we have our yang. Every human being has a yin and yang. And that's why I said in another video, we are intersex. We are all intersex. Yes, we are all intersex. Some are more intersex than others. The intersex, the main intersex are the ones who have two body parts. The two the two sexual body parts belong to a man. One belong to a man and man to belong to a woman. Then you have the transgenders who they have one body part, but internally they can have a female. Their female part is higher, or if they are a woman, the male part is also, the male hormones are very high. That is an intersex form, but it's not expressed externally, it is only expressed internally. Then you have the hetero and homo, whereby yes, you are unisex. Yes, you are. You have to. You have yin and yang in you, but you focus on one area. So some people they focus on their homosexual relations, others focus on their heterosexual relations, even if they have a yin and yang. And yin and yang Chinese philosophy is the best philosophy on sexuality. I respect it 100%. And I'm going to do, I already have written a book about that, the yin yang, and or the yang yin, whichever you want. If you are a patriarch, you'll want to start with yang first. But if you are matriarchal, you may want to start with yin first. But whichever comes first or second, whatever. I've written a book about that, but I'm going to talk about that depth, very powerful philosophy that we have man and a woman in us. Each and every one of us has it. And sometimes you want, and some people live their lives being, I want to live, I want to live my man life. And I live my man life. And guess what? You should do it. Do what you want. Do what makes you happy. If you want to live both your man and woman life, fine. If you want to live your woman life and you're a man, fine. Do. That's why if you understand yin and yang, you will not have problems with the sexual wars and the sexual identity wars that are happening, and the attacks, homophobia that is there, and transphobia and biphobia, all of these fears that are there, there will be no need, because you understand somebody can express a different sexual form, reason being they are different from each other. So that is our first word discussion. We were discussing how language, gender, and sexuality are being affected, and this has been evident in the word polygamy and polygyny. And we're going to do other words as time goes by.